Hey, this is Maid Maiden. I wanted to do a video asking what makes housing a privilege and not a right? Why is it that we live in a country that has plenty of housing? Plenty. We've got so much housing that we have whole genres of YouTube videos devoted to abandoned, uninhabited homes, vacant homes. Yes, they can say, oh, but those are not structurally sound. They're not fit for, they're not, you can't live there because of the plumbing. Like, they'll make all kinds of excuses, but it all has to do with money. It has to do with, well, somebody has to come out and inspect it. And then somebody else has to come and say, well, these aren't up to code and all that. All of that is BS because you know damn well we can live in log homes or stone homes or what were those? I mean, they literally just used to just stack bricks and people would, make a fire inside and that's a home. You can make a home out of a lot of different things. So my point is, it's all about money. So when are we going to be fair when it comes to housing, and how can we as a society make up for the homeless population? When are we going to make sure that they have somewhere to live? Just because they can't, a lot of times what will happen, and this is really the truth, people lump the homeless together like they're all just addicted to drugs and or have some, mental problems, and therefore they either ask to be homeless or they've put themselves there in their own, choices, which definitely sometimes is the case. Again, though, the main thing is, the point I want to make is everyone deserves a home. Everyone deserves housing. So, how can we make it so that everyone can have a home? How can we make it so that someone doesn't have to pay 60% of their income just to live? That is where there's a problem. And that's why I contacted the governor's office and I got blocked. I got blocked for asking, where's the affordable housing in my area? I am a single mom. I've been a single mom most of my kids' lives. My kids are older now. My youngest is 17. Yeah, I can work. I am not disabled. I am very blessed and lucky to have what I have, and I am very aware of that. I don't drive because I don't want to take on any more bills than I can afford. But I got to tell you this. I can walk in my area. I can walk to the store. I can walk with my groceries. I can, thank God, if I really had to, I could ride the bus as well. I just choose to walk because it's good for my health, and I like being in nature, so I really like to walk. I miss my car sometimes. I do miss having a car, but I don't miss the bills and the headaches that I would have just trying to upkeep and also keep the car on the road. Registration, tags, and all that stuff. I mean, that kind of stuff, to me, I don't want to have those kinds of headaches and having to get it inspected every year and all that. I just, oil changes, tires. I was always, my last car, I was replacing tires, it seemed like every 2-3 months. I know that sounds like an exaggeration, but it was often. And it's because a lot of these streets are not, they're got holes, potholes and everything. I mean, and I live in a nice area, so if my area looks like that, I can't imagine areas that aren't as nice. I don't know. But the main reason I wanted to do this video was just because I have a lot of frustration and anger when it comes to housing. I think it's not fair. I am in a position right now where I'm possibly facing homelessness if I can't come up with the money to pay my rent. So I get the housing issue as a broad issue. I don't know what the common person can do about it. I'm just putting this video out there to get some kind of feedback and see if there's any ideas that we can all come up with for our communities to make a change when it comes to housing and who gets access to it. The other thing is, I remember last year I got a large payment. I had manifested some money coming into my life, and it did. And when it did, I was so overjoyed and happy, and I couldn't wait to think of all the plans. I was going to do. I was going to open business. I was going to do all these things. Long story short, I ended up spending it on my daily needs. I lived off of the money because it was all I could think to do. I was going through a really tough mental time and emotional time, as all of us were. And I just did what I could do to just live each day, day to day. So the grand plans I had for this money didn't actually happen. But if I get the chance again, definitely, that would be nice if I could just buy a house. But the thing is, that's what I was getting to. So it's not even just that. Like, even if you have the money, let's say, then they want you to have some perfect credit score. And I remember thinking, like, I want to live in a world where there is no credit scores. I mean, I don't know. I just think if you have the money, you should just be able to get it, whatever it is. Or if you can, trade your labor for somebody else, or, there's got to be a fair exchange here. And I think that can happen. And I think that, like in concept, things like Habitat for Humanity and stuff like that, it seems so great in concept. You think, oh, cool. But it used to be back in the days, I think when they first started, it was like it's the family who's going to live in the home that helps to build the home. Now it's this big production where these big investors probably buy these homes for Habitat for Humanity and say it's a charity, and then they actually make money off of these homes and then sell them to the people who normally would work on the home and earn it themselves. Now they've got to actually come out of their pocket and pay, even though back in the days they said that you could really build your home for free, or qualify on probably some scale, some sliding scale or something, depending on your income. But anyway, I digress, going on and on. This is just a very passionate subject for me. And I really, really want to know, what do you consider home? What do you think home means to you? It's almost like that thing, I want to feel like wherever you go, there you are, or wherever you can lay your head and call it home. It used to be, I remember a long time ago when I was still kind of a young lady, woman, whatever, I used to consider my parents' house that I grew up in home. Like, I could always feel at home. I remember the first time it didn't feel like home was when I went to go visit and my brother had my own room. And it's silly to think that now. I mean, that's, obviously it's not a big deal. I moved out. But it was like, hey, really isn't my home anymore. So then, I realized I had to make where I was living at my home, at the time. And, I've lived in some shitty apartments. I mean, this apartment that I live in right now, it's pretty shitty, guys. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty shitty. And lately, I'm not going to say, like, this is actually really good that my neighbors have been doing it a lot lately, okay? Good for them. I mean, kudos, Feliz cumpleaños, whatever. But it's not fun for me because I'm single and I'm sleeping in this apartment by myself, and it's loud. I hear the guy, like, I can hear him taking his morning leak. I can just hear way too much. It's apartment living. That is part that comes with it when you live in an apartment. Okay, I'm going to hear a bunch of stuff. I'm going to hear, and yeah, I gotta say, she got a new boyfriend. So before he moved in, there was another guy who lived there, and they fought constantly. So good girl, you did an upgrade. But any other stuff, it's like, they've got kids, they're running around, they've got a dog. Sometimes I think we hear the the weights being dropped and stuff. I mean, it's a lot going on. But I just, I've tried to make it a home. I mean, I don't want to show all of my business, but here's my little side table. And, I've got my plants. And I got all my books. I mean, it's a nice little. I mean, you can't really lie. You can't. That's a beautiful view that I have. I mean, that's what I'm paying for, I guess, to live here. This view is just, I'm very fortunate. The inside of the place is another story, but I have to say that I am very blessed, and I just want to pay off my debt here before I move on. I definitely am excited to move to a new apartment, and my plan last year was like, okay, I'll just keep this money, move with it, and then ditch, my bill. But I stayed and I paid the bill, and I paid almost all the past due, and then now I'm still in arrears. So the thing is that I don't want to be a bad. I want to do the right thing. I'm not trying to be a bad tenant. I want to make a movie, Bad Tenant, instead of Bad Lieutenant. That movie, Bad Tenant. That's actually a good idea. Okay, don't steal that if you see this. I'm gonna make a horror movie about being the worst tenant. No, I mean, okay, they did have something on me because my trash built up. I had trash out there that was building up. My daughters were being lazy. It was freezing. This was like a couple of weeks where we just had freezing temperatures and it was so cold. We don't have a car. The dumpster is very far. You guys, I know this sounds horrible because I'm making excuses, but the dumpster is very far from our apartment. We're all girls that live in here, except for my son. But I can't expect him to carry out all of our trash every day. I mean, all those pads and tampons and all that. I mean, come on. I don't need him to have to do that. But, yeah. Anyway, so I forgot what I was saying. Yikes. Oh well. Anyway, yeah, I just want to pay my bill, pay what I owe, and then move on. That's all I want. And I mean, the next place I live, I needed to have a good shower, a bathtub, preferably a spa bathtub, and what was my other thing? Yeah, I don't want anybody upstairs, so I guess I need to be on the top floor. And the view of the moon. I have to be able to see the moon. I can't see anything because we're on the bottom floor, and the moon always it comes when it comes up. It's always right. This whole building's blocking the whole thing, basically. So yeah, it's really not good for that. And I'm a moon woman, so I need to have my moon. I need to be able to see it. So yeah, but I hope that somebody can get something from this video. I mean, I just wanted to talk about affordable housing. I think it's possible. I think there's so many. I can't even begin to even contemplate how many buildings. Yeah, some of them are maybe not even homes. Maybe they're office buildings. They're, structures, let's say. Structures that people could actually live in and be housed in are empty right now. But we have people sleeping outside. We have people on the streets. We have people who can't even go to the bathroom with decency. These are things that I think if we put our heads together, we can come up with a solution for this. I do. I mean, we've come up with many of other solutions for many other things. Why is this one that keeps coming up? and I keep coming back to it's in America. I mean, I know there's a problem in other countries. I'm not taking away from that or anything. I just know from living here, I know our situation here in America. It feels very solvable. It feels very fixable. But why aren't we fixing it? I just want to know. I want to know what other people think about this. It plagues me. It literally is on my mind. It's on my mind a lot. It's on my mind almost every day because of where we live, and we live in an apartment, and we are behind on rent. We could be put out. We could be homeless. We could be living, in motels day by day, not knowing, if we're going to have a house in a month or whatever. These are very scary things that face a lot of people, and I just want to know if other people have come across any ideas that may help with this issue, globally, not even just, in our country. I'm sure if we came up with some ideas, we could share them with our friends globally and help them as well. So just a general question, I guess, would be, what do you think we should do about housing as a society? Like, what do you think? And also, what do you consider home? Where do you feel home, or where do you feel most at home, I guess? So I would just interested to read your comments. Let me know if you have any thoughts or other things to add. I would be happy to have a conversation in the future with some other points of view. It would be really cool and interesting. I'm going to be doing some other things with my channel, but this was just something I wanted to talk about and express. And anyway, I hope everybody is doing well again, and I hope you have a great evening, great day. Take care. See you next time.